Have you ever had to choose between buying a new video game or saving up for a concert ticket? If so, you are making an economic choice. Economics is simply the study of how people, groups, and countries make choices about using their limited resources to satisfy their unlimited wants. It looks at how things are produced in a factory, how they are distributed to stores, and how we consume them when we buy them. Every decision about money, time, or stuff is a part of this field. At the heart of all economics is one single powerful problem: scarcity. Think of it like this: there is only one pizza, but 10 hungry friends. Everyone wants a whole slice, but the pizza is limited. In the real world, scarcity means we have practically unlimited wants. You always want a new toy, a better device, or more free time. But the resources to satisfy those wants are limited. Because of scarcity, we can't have everything, so we have to make choices. Scarcity forces us to know the difference between a want and a need. A need is something absolutely required for survival, like enough food, clean water, or a roof over your head. A want is something you desire to make your life more fun or comfortable, like that brand new pair of sneakers or tickets to a concert. When resources are scarce, a society must first prioritize the needs of its people before it can start fulfilling everyone's wants. So what are these resources we keep talking about? Economists call them the factors of production because they are the three basic building blocks of anything produced in an economy. Every single item you use, from a pencil to a giant skyscraper, requires a combination of these three factors. We can't make anything without first having the right ingredients, and these three factors are the essential ingredients of all wealth. The first factor is land. This covers all the gifts of nature, or natural resources. Think of the oil drilled from the ground to power your car, the water used to grow crops, or the wood cut from a forest to build your desk. These resources are often finite, meaning there's a limited amount of them. Because land is scarce, societies have to be careful and strategic about how they use and protect their natural resources. The second factor is labor. This is the human element, the work, effort, skills, and knowledge that people contribute to making a good or providing a service. The person who designed your phone, the person who taught your class, and the person who stocked the shelves at the grocery store are all providing labor. A country's economic success depends heavily on having a skilled and healthy workforce. The third factor is capital. This isn't just money in the bank. In economics, capital means the tools, equipment, machines, and buildings that are used to produce other goods. Think of a farmer's tractor, a factory's robotic arm, or the road a delivery truck drives on. These things are created by people, but then they are used to make even more goods and services. Capital makes labor more productive and efficient. Since scarcity is always a problem, we must always choose how to use our resources. Every single choice is called a trade-off. Imagine you have 2 hours of free time. You can choose to play a game, or you can choose to study for a test. If you choose to play the game, you are trading off the benefits of getting a better grade. Understanding trade-offs helps us realize that everything we choose costs us something else. The true cost of any choice is called the opportunity cost. If you choose the video game in that 2-hour trade-off, the opportunity cost is the next best thing you gave up, which was the better grade you could have earned from studying. Economists don't just measure cost in money. They measure it by the value of the alternative you sacrificed. It's the cost of the opportunity lost. On a large scale, whole societies have to make massive trade-offs. This is sometimes visualized as the production possibilities problem. Historically, countries often have to choose between producing military goods like tanks and weapons, often called guns, or consumer goods like food and education, often called butter. Every dollar spent on a missile is a dollar that can't be spent on a school. It's the challenge of balancing defense and welfare. So how do we try to beat scarcity? We use specialization. Specialization means focusing on one thing and becoming really, really good at it. A farmer might specialize in growing corn, while another company specializes in making fertilizer. When you specialize, you become more efficient, you waste less, and you produce a higher quality product. Specialization makes everyone more productive than if they tried to do everything themselves. In a factory or business, specialization is broken down into the division of labor. This means dividing a large job into many small, simple tasks. Think about an assembly line where one worker only tightens one specific bolt all day long. That worker becomes incredibly fast and accurate at that one job. This division of labor is why a car can be built in a day now, instead of taking months like it did 100 years ago. Specialization is great, but it creates a new need. Trade. If you specialize in baking bread, you still need clothes, a phone, and milk, right? That's where trade comes in. People trade with each other because of voluntary exchange. You give up the bread you made because you expect that what you get in return, the milk, will make you better off. Without trade, specialization wouldn't work, and we'd all have to grow our own food and build our own homes. Trade happens all over the place. Domestic trade is the exchange of goods and services inside one country, like when oranges are shipped from Florida to Alaska. International trade is the exchange that happens between countries, like when the US buys coffee from Colombia. Both types of trade are essential because no single region or country has all the resources it needs. Trade has big benefits for you as a consumer. First, global trade brings competition, which often forces companies to lower their prices. Second, trade provides variety. Think about the electronics you use or the food you eat. Many of those things are imported because another country specializes in making them better or cheaper. Thanks to trade, you have more choices and can save money. On a national level, trade fuels economic growth. When a country specializes in something, like making software or growing bananas, it can sell that product all over the world. This brings in money or revenue, which helps businesses grow, creates more jobs, and raises the overall standard of living for everyone in the country. Trade is like the fuel for a country's economic engine. Economists often use a model called the circular flow to show how the economy works. It's a loop. Think of households. That's you and your family, and businesses. Households provide labor to businesses, and businesses give money, wages, back to the households. Then, households use that money to buy goods and services from the businesses, and the cycle continues. It shows how dependent we are on each other. Within this circular flow, we identify two key players. Producers, or sellers, are the ones who create the goods or perform the services. Consumers, or buyers, are the ones who ultimately use those goods and services. The constant interaction between these two, the producer trying to sell for a high price, the consumer trying to buy for a low price, is what determines the price of everything in the market. Specialization and trade lead to interdependence. This means everyone is reliant on everyone else. The person who makes your phone relies on a factory in another country for parts, and that factory relies on a mine in yet another country for the raw minerals. If a flood stops the mine, the factory can't produce, and you can't get your phone. This interconnectedness shows us why global cooperation is so vital. The final idea is that you are a key part of the economy. Right now, you are primarily a powerful consumer. Your choices on what to buy or what to ask your parents for influence what businesses decide to produce. In the future, you will also be a vital source of labor. Understanding scarcity, resources, and trade now will help you make smarter decisions that benefit not only your own life, but your entire community and the world economy.